All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm so excited for this one. We're taking a deep dive into something that is absolutely exploding right now, and that's the metaverse.
The metaverse, yeah.
I feel like I can't go anywhere or read anything or talk to anyone in tech without this word coming up, and everyone has a different definition.
It seems like everyone has a different idea of what it is.
Yeah, and it's confusing for most people who haven't spent a lot of time reading up on it. So today, that's our mission.
Yeah, break it down.
Yeah, we're going to break it down. We're going to figure out exactly what it is, why people are so excited about it, and, maybe where this is all headed.
I think we also want to talk about, this isn't just some far-off sci-fi concept. I mean, pieces of the metaverse, they already exist.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. You've got games like Fortnite, Roblox, where millions of people are already hanging out, creating, spending money in these digital worlds.
Yeah, and these are very rudimentary, early examples.
Yeah, early examples. So that's kind of the jumping off point for us today. The question is, where do we go from here?
Yeah, and I think a good place to start is by sort of dispelling some of the myths.
Okay.
And, getting to a real definition. I mean, what is it that actually separates the metaverse from, the internet that we use right now?
Right. I think people hear metaverse and they immediately think VR headsets, right? Like you're strapping this thing on and you're suddenly in some other reality.
Right. And while VR is definitely a big part of it, that's not the whole story.
So what else is there?
Yeah. Well, think about augmented reality, AR.
Okay.
This is where digital elements are overlaid onto the real world. I mean, you've probably played Pokemon Go or used filters on social media.
Right, right.
That's AR. And that technology is going to play a huge role in the metaverse, allowing us to interact with digital objects and information in our physical space.
Okay, so that's starting to paint a little bit clearer of a picture, right?
Right.
It's not just about escaping into some virtual reality.
Yeah.
It's about blending the digital and physical worlds in new ways.
Exactly. And it's about creating these persistent shared experiences that we can all be a part of.
Okay, so let's talk about the tech behind all of this. Yeah. You mentioned VR and AR, but what's actually making this all possible?
Well, one of the key technologies that's driving the metaverse is blockchain.
Blockchain, okay. Now, whenever I hear blockchain, I immediately think cryptocurrencies, right?
Yeah, and while there's definitely a connection there, blockchain is about so much more than just digital money.
So how does it apply to the metaverse?
Well, think about it this way. The metaverse is all about creating these digital worlds where users can own assets, right? So just like you might own a house or a car in the real world, you might own virtual land or a digital artwork or a unique item for your avatar in the metaverse.
Okay, and blockchain enables that.
Exactly. Blockchain provides a secure and transparent way to track ownership and transactions in these virtual economies. It ensures that digital assets are scarce, verifiable, and can be traded securely.
So it's like a digital ledger for everything that happens in the metaverse.
Precisely. And this is what enables the creation of truly decentralized platforms, where users have real ownership and control over their digital assets.
Okay, so this is getting really interesting. So we've got VR, AR, blockchain, all coming together to create this immersive, interactive, and potentially very valuable digital world. But who's actually building this thing?
Well, you've got some of the biggest tech companies in the world pouring billions of dollars into the metaverse.
Like who?
Well, Meta, formerly Facebook, obviously, they've even gone so far as to change their company name to reflect their commitment to this vision.
And what are they doing exactly?
They're developing VR headsets, building virtual worlds, creating tools for developers to create metaverse experiences.
Right.
I mean, their vision is to create a social metaverse where people can connect and interact in new ways. Imagine attending virtual concerts, hanging out with friends in exotic virtual locations, or even collaborating on work projects in a shared virtual space, all from the comfort of your own home.
Okay, so that's Meta. Who else is in the game?
Well, Microsoft is another major player. They're taking a slightly different approach, though.
Okay, how so?
They're focusing more on the enterprise applications of the metaverse, so think virtual offices, where colleagues can collaborate from anywhere in the world, manipulating 3D models and data visualizations together in real time. They're also investing heavily in the development of AR technology for industrial use cases.
So like I could be sitting on my couch, but I'm actually collaborating with someone on the other side of the world on some 3D model that we're both interacting with in real time.
Exactly. And with haptic feedback technology, you could even feel the texture of the virtual object you're manipulating.
Whoa. Okay, so we've got these big tech companies like Meta and Microsoft, but what about smaller startups?
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole ecosystem of startups popping up around the metaverse. Some are focused on developing new VR and AR hardware. Others are building tools and platforms for creating and experiencing metaverse content. And still others are creating unique digital assets and experiences within these virtual worlds.
So it's a real gold rush right now.
It's a very exciting time to be involved in this space.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the potential of the metaverse, but what about the risks? I mean, are there any downsides to all of this?
Well, yeah, some people worry about the potential for the metaverse to exacerbate existing social problems.
Like what?
Well, think about online harassment.
Okay.
Discrimination, misinformation, all of these problems could be amplified in a more immersive and interactive virtual world.
And what about privacy? I mean, if companies are tracking our every move in the metaverse, that's a little concerning.
That's a valid concern, and it's something that we need to be thinking about very carefully as these technologies develop. How do we protect user data and privacy in a world where the lines between the physical and digital are becoming increasingly blurred?
Right, right. So it sounds like the metaverse has the potential to be both incredibly beneficial and potentially problematic.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool that could be used for good or for ill, and it's up to us to shape its development in a way that benefits humanity.
So what can people do? I mean, this all sounds very futuristic and overwhelming. What can the average person do to prepare for this metaverse?
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay informed. Learn about the technologies that are driving the metaverse, the companies that are building it, and the potential implications for your life. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try out VR headsets, play around in virtual worlds. The more you understand about this technology, the better equipped you'll be to navigate it.
All right, everyone. That was a lot to take in, but hopefully you now have a better understanding of what the metaverse is, why it's such a big deal, and the potential benefits and risks associated with it. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. As these virtual worlds become more realistic and immersive, how will they impact our perception of reality? Will we start to prefer virtual experiences over physical ones?
And how will that impact our relationships, our work, our sense of self? It's a fascinating question and one that we'll be grappling with for years to come.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the metaverse. We'll see you next time.